On April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon oil spill became one of the largest environmental disasters in U.S. history. Coastal habitats, marine life, and the livelihoods of many Gulf Coast communities suffered extensive damage, especially those in Louisiana. In response, a settlement was reached with the responsible parties, directing funds toward environmental restoration. The settlement provided billions of dollars to restore and enhance the Gulf Coast's natural resources and ecosystems damaged by the oil spill. To ensure the effective use of these funds, the Louisiana Trustee Implementation Group was formed. This collection of federal and state agencies works collaboratively to identify and implement projects that would best benefit Louisiana's coastal environment. Having suffered the greatest amount of damage, Louisiana will ultimately receive $5 billion, the largest allocation among the restoration areas. Funds are paid each April, beginning in 2017 through 2031. Louisiana's $5 billion is distributed between 5 different restoration categories, with the largest portion going toward restoring and conserving habitat. In this annual update, we'll explore the incredible progress made over the last year in restoring the unique ecosystems affected by the disaster. On the restoration planning front, we have released 2 plans since the 2022 annual meeting. Final Restoration Plan 3.2 provides an in-depth analysis of the benefits and impacts of a mid-Barataria sediment diversion project. Final Restoration Plan 7.1 evaluated a reasonable range of design alternatives for the Terrebonne HNC Island Restoration Project and selects a preferred design for construction. As of May 2023, we have committed $3.8 billion of the total settlement to 74 approved projects that address the ecological challenges brought about by the oil spill. A significant project we've undertaken in the last year is the Upper Barataria component of the large-scale Barataria Marsh Recreation project in Jefferson Parish. With a total cost of about $180 million, this massive project restored nearly 1,200 acres of marsh in the Barataria Basin.
We're constructing in what was previously 2 to 3 feet of open water. You've got a dredge in the river. You've got 13 miles of 30-inch, 3/4-inch steel pipeline. You've got these marsh buggies pushing the stuff around. There's a lot of habitat being created. There's a lot of sediment being moved. It's a proven technology and it works.
The Spanish Pass Ridge and Marsh Recreation project was another milestone this year. Building about 1,670 acres of marsh and 6 miles of ridge just west of Venice, Louisiana, the $100 million project is the largest by-volume dredge ever completed.
This project is going to place almost 11 million cubic yards of sand in an area where there was no land and open water previously. To put that in perspective, on an average day, they pump about 40,000 cubic yards. That equals 2,500 dump trucks every day coming here and dumping a load of sand for almost 2 years.
By reconstructing and revitalizing critical coastal habitats like marshes and ridges in the Barataria Basin, we strengthen the natural defenses against storm surges and support the region's vital biodiversity. Our efforts to restore Lake Borgne's coastal marshes have shown tremendous progress this year. Once complete, the $114 million Lake Borgne Marsh Recreation project will create almost 2,800 acres of marsh near the southern rim of the lake near St. Bernard Parish. As of now, the project is 35% of the way through and anticipated to be complete in 2024. Rabbit Island in Cameron Parish is flourishing since its restoration was completed in March 2021. The $16 million project restored over 100 acres of the barrier island, with the ultimate goal of enhancing the nesting habitat for the colonial waterbirds and other species who call the area home. Before the restoration, a little over 15,000 birds, including pelicans, terns, skimmer, and more, were estimated to be using the island. The latest nesting counts have far exceeded the project's initial expectations, And as of 2022, over 32,000 birds are nesting on the island. Rabbit Island is also the only brown pelican colony in southwest Louisiana. Brown pelicans have now flocked to the island in record numbers, from a little over 1,000 nests in 2018 to over 4,000 documented in 2022, marking a triumphant victory for Louisiana's dwindling populations. On the border of Iberia and St. Mary parishes in Sycamore State Park, a collaboration with Louisiana State Parks will enhance recreational and educational opportunities. $5.7 million in upgrade include reinforcing the rock embankment on Quintana Canal, restoring the public beach, installing a new Marsh boardwalk, and constructing a new RV campground with 22 pull-through sites. Remaining elements of the project include repairing and upgrading roads and parking areas that have been damaged by repeated flooding. These upgrades should be completed in January 2024. In 2022, renovations were also completed at the Wax Lake Outlet Campground in the Atchafalaya Delta Wildlife Management Area. The $4.2 million project added a 1,200-foot-long bulkhead and a timber jetty to prevent shoreline erosion. The area was also backfilled with sediment to restore some of the campground's lost acreage. 2 new 50-foot structures were also added to serve as fishing piers and boat docks. This year, the Louisiana Marine Mammal Stranding Network and partners successfully relocated a mother dolphin and her calf to open water after being confined to a tidal pond system near Grand Isle for more than a year. The pair were likely stranded due to storm surge and flooding after Hurricane Ida in 2021. It's a common problem for marine mammals and sea turtles after large storms and requires trained responders to return them to their natural habitat. This rescue is just the latest example of an enhanced capacity to respond to marine mammal strandings in Louisiana, funded by the trustees. Additional support and coordination for the stranding network in Louisiana improves the ability to report and respond to such strandings, care for stranded animals to improve survival rates, and collect samples that provide valuable data to help improve conservation and restoration efforts for marine mammals. Just south of Thibodaux, on the Nicholls State University farm, a newly built 25-acre wetland creates a new hydrologic regime in an area that used to be farmland. The nutrient reduction project on cropland and grazing land in Bayou Folse aims to improve water quality by implementing USDA conservation practices. These reduce sediment and nutrient runoff from agricultural lands. Wetlands constructed and placed in priority areas of the watershed can be utilized to enhance water quality and wildlife habitat. In this project, an electric pump directs water from Bayou Folse into the wetland, and it is returned to the bayou through a series of flashboard risers. Water quality sampling and monitoring are ongoing in the area. In Cameron and Vermilion parishes, after large tractors harvest rice, the fields are then precision leveled and prepared to be flooded in the fall and winter months. This $200,000 project provided rice producers financial assistance to implement USDA conservation practices to reduce nutrient and sediment runoff from agriculture lands. Flooded rice fields provide winter habitat to waterfowl during migrations. Nutrient and sediment retention and carbon sequestration are also benefits. Practices like leveling the land optimizes water management for rice during irrigation. It also helps keep the water at preferred depths for wintering waterfowl. Once the rice is harvested, the remaining waste grain is rolled again and becomes food for the various species utilizing the flooded fields through the winter. In June 2023, we approved 7 new monitoring and adaptive management activities implementation plans, with 5 centered on data collection. All of the activities address needs that were identified in the Louisiana Trustee's Monitoring and Adaptive Management Strategy, published in 2021. The goal of monitoring and adaptive management is to maximize benefits to the natural resources targeted for restoration. report on the outcomes of restoration actions, and to guide future decision-making. The budget for the 7 activities totals $36.5 million over the next 3 to 6 years, depending on the activity duration. We've made significant strides in revitalizing the Gulf Coast's ecological treasures over the last year, but our work is far from over. A future restoration plan to consider construction alternatives for the Chandeleur Islands will begin later this year. We will build on engineering and design work that was funded through the Region-wide Trustee Implementation Group's Restoration Plan 1. Plans are being finalized and environmental clearances are near completion for the Terrebonne H&C Island Restoration Project. Habitats will be restored by raising the elevation of H&C Island using dredged material from a borrow area near Cat Island Pass. This project should go out to bid before the end of the year. And finally, construction is underway on the Mid-Barataria Sediment Diversion, the most ambitious environmental restoration project in Louisiana's history. The trustees approved the allocation of $2.26 billion in natural resource damage assessment funds from the Deepwater Horizon oil spill settlement towards the construction phase cost of $2.92 billion.
I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the hard work and, of course, the significant funding provided by the Louisiana Trustee Implementation Group and by the National Fish and Wildlife Federation Board. Louisiana owes you all a debt of gratitude.
The Mid-Barataria sediment diversion includes 3 key components: a controlled gate structure through the river's levee, a man-made channel, and the outfall structure. This first-of-its-kind project will capture sediment from the Mississippi River and deposit it into the Barataria Basin, which is facing some of the highest land loss rates in the world. Over the next 5 years it takes to build, the project is projected to produce an economic impact of nearly $1.5 billion in sales and approximately 12,400 jobs in the region. Once operational, the diversion has the capability to build and sustain up to 26,000 acres of wetlands, providing increased storm surge protection to our vulnerable communities and fostering a more productive and sustainable estuary that would otherwise be lost.
With this Mid-Barataria sediment diversion, we're going to change the physical footprint of our state. We are wisely investing funds from the Deepwater Horizon oil spill settlement in the area that was most heavily impacted by the oil spill.
On behalf of the Louisiana Trustee Implementation Group, thank you for attending the 2023 Annual Update. We encourage you to stay updated on the progress of restoration as we work together to protect and preserve the Louisiana coast for generations to come. Please email any comments on this update to latig@la.gov no later than November 18, 2023. If you'd like to learn more about our projects, we ask that you visit www.gulfspillrestoration.noaa.gov. Today's video is available at www.la-dwh.com.